Alright, BobalosRex here. And today's video is going to be a quick one where I just go over my feelings about Evoker and support in general, because I've been playing this spec now for 2 weeks in the live server and I just want to get my opinion out. There's book. And how I feel as this term casual, or like the term for the kind of player I am, because some people would say, oh, if you do ahead of the curve, you're just a casual, which is weird because I do spend a lot of time on WoW, but I'm just an average, a pretty average World of Warcraft player. My hardcore self is in collecting. But here are my opinions about the class, how I've been doing in my raid, in M+, and the Mega Dungeon, and out in the world as well. So let's get into it real quick. So, my impressions so far, I've been having a great time. The last 2 weeks have been fun. I loved the switch from Devastation to Augmentation in my raid. I feel like a full support. I can do all the jobs, not have to worry about too much. I will talk about it in a little bit in regards to how it plays in raid. But as far as class fantasy goes as well, it feels freaking phenomenal. You got all this earth stuff, you got all this bronze stuff. You really get to take advantage of some of the other talents that the main Drakthir tree has, because you're a support, you know? You got Breath of Eons, you got your crit, and all these spells look freaking amazing. Alright, Eruption, look at that. Beautiful looking spell. The scales look good. Earth and Might, even that cast looks good. You got all this fucking stuff. You got Eruption where you're shooting the earth thing through the ground. It's freaking sweet. So as far as class fantasy, how it feels, how it plays, I put it as a 9, because I didn't want to be like, oh, 10 out of 10. I feel like it would be 10 out of 10. It may be a bit early, but I feel like 10 out of 10. I don't know what else they could do better for how the spec looks and feels, to get that real like Earth Dragon, bronze weaving, time weaving feel, but to me it feels great. Really makes you feel like an Earth Dragon. But and I said gameplay, I have a list here. So gameplay, I'd say 8. And the reason I'd say 8 is because M+, Prescience, Blistering Scales. I do get annoyed that Blistering Scales targets your target. If you don't have the enemy clicked right away, it'll just put it on you. I wish it would just auto-target the tank. Like this, this I can hit, and it auto-targets the healer. Like, boop, it would go automatically on a healer. But this doesn't automatically go on a tank. But in M+, 11 out of 10, it is getting nerfed, or it has been nerfed. So closest clutch mates now isn't as OP. It does say 40%, but that's been knocked down to 20. So I'll have to see how that plays. But I think it's still going to be good. And it, like I said, it feels great in M+, because you can just do all the things. You get to knock up, you get to stun. You're actually using landslide more. You know, you got Eruption, which is a freaking knock up too. It plays great in M+. Now in Raid, it may be getting better. But with Raid, and I was kind of mentioning this, having the min-max prescience is one of the key things to really set yourself aside as a good evoker. But it's also frustrating, because you kind of have to if you wanted to position, you can maybe get 3 prescience if you time skip and handpick 3 DPS for your Ebon Might to focus, but otherwise it's just a crapshoot in Raid. I would like it if they made it so you'd buff your party in Raid. So if you have a set 4 people in your group, it goes to them, so your raid leader can decide who you buff, versus just having to be close to them. But overall, I still think it plays fine in Raid. I've been having fun in Raid. No one everyone has been cool with me being in Raid, being an Augmentation, and hopefully when I get the Legendary, it'll feel really great in Raid. And as far as strength, y'all have seen the charts if you care. Evoker feels strong. It makes its allies feel strong. You feel tanky. I don't feel like I'm gonna die. Here's the thing. I was doing the last boss of the Mega Dungeon. The bombs would go off, everybody else would die, and I'm sitting there like, shit, I'm alive. The tank was even dead. That's crazy for a caster to be left alive and the tank dead. So it does feel extremely tanky in my opinion, and I like that. Now, as far as supports in general, is this a new style of playing WoW? I hope so, actually. I really like this gameplay. I'm not saying I'd be a support main, but as a flex player and me wanting to play a role that helps my group, that seems to be where I fit right now, you know? I was Windwalker, I was main a tank in my other guild, so I played it all. I can heal, I can do that. I just like being flexible, and to be able to be flexible and then have a support class, it feels good. Now, the reason why support may feel bad right now, especially in M+, and that's why they are nerfing Augmentation, is it feels mandatory. And I do wonder if we get to a stage where it's tank, healer, 2 DPS, and a support. That would feel bad right now, but if down the line we're adding specs across the board, incoming a video about that, by the way. If we were to add specs across the board and we get some more support specs, it wouldn't be that bad, because it's not just support spec, oh, only Augmentation. It's support spec and you get a choice as well. So I do hope we see more support specs in the future. I really like Augmentation. I like what Blizzard has done with Augmentation, and I hope this continues forward as a buff spec and doesn't get switched to full DPS. And I just hope we do get more support specs. I don't think specs should turn into support. I think support specs should be added, because it'd be really crappy to be a spec and then all of a sudden you're not a DPS anymore and you're doing no damage and you're buffing instead, having a spec that you've made that long. People say, oh, well, they switched Hunter from range to melee. I don't want to get into that. But this is like very different. This is a play style difference, not a range difference per se. But yeah, so my overall opinions of Drakthir, if we totaled all these numbers, would be like a 10. A 9 or a 10. I really like this spec. And I'm not like a spec connoisseur, but I have played all the specs. And you know what I want to see now? Where are the Evoker Mage Towers? I now want to do 3 more Mage Towers and get Evoker done. I wonder where they'd put Augmentation. Augmentation Mage Tower. I wonder where that would go. But anyways, thank you for watching. Weekly video tomorrow. You know, my Wednesday weekly. And this week, I think I have some interesting videos planned. Thank you for watching again. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.